Шановні колеги, до слова запрошується речник Міністерства оборони України з АТО, полковник Андрій Lysenko.
Доброго дня, шановні колеги. До вашої уваги огляд подій, які сталися.
Now the information about the events that happened in the ADO area during last 24 hours and about the training of Ukrainian armed forces. Yesterday in the Lugansk sector, the main military actions were in Popasnyansky region. The militants were more active during second part of the day and used heavy weapons actively. And at once to our positions right after 5 p.m. they launched about 45 mines. The fire was delivered from two different spots of the enemy. And also the heaviest mortar shelling delivered by the enemy in Lugansk area happened in Krymska. It lasted for 20 minutes, and at that the enemy launched 36 mines of different caliber. One more enemy shelling was in Valuiske of Stanishna-Lugansk region. And on the whole, during last 24 hours in the Lugansk sector, there were 14 enemy shelling, including 8 with the use of mortars. And the Donetsk area, the situation became more difficult. The militants continued their actions along the front line. The enemy brought additional forces and means that resulted in deterioration of shelling and increase of number of shelling. Svetlodarsk Bulge in Lugansk, the militants were active in the morning. Between 6 and 9, the occupants delivered 4 shellings with the use of mortars, and they launched tons of mines. And during the second part of the day, the enemy shelled Troitsk twice with the use of cannons and mortars. In Lugansk, during the day and in the evening, there were continuous shelling. Gorlovka perimeter, the main military actions were in Zaitsevo and Verkhnya Terezhka, and in each of the shellings, the enemy used heavy weapons. The region of Avdiivka, the enemy changed the tactics. It delivered not long shellings that exceeded 10 hours. Now they make more breaks. And yesterday they launched more than 100 of mines, and also they used tanks. And as the result of the enemy shellings, 2 houses were damaged, and one of the houses was ruined completely. Fortunately, no casualties. Yesterday, repair crews restored the work of the Donetsk filtration station, and Avdiivka is provided with water. And yesterday, region of Donetsk airport, 3 shellings, Nivelsk, and the enemy delivered 50 mines. Also in Piske and Opetne, there are military actions, and during the last 24 hours in the Donetsk sector, there were 52 enemy shelling. The Mariupol sector, traditionally, the military actions are in the south, from Chevermalik to Shirokina, part of front line, and the militants shelled our positions, and the situation is more difficult in Vodina and Shirokina. The militants 4 times used barrel artillery, and more than 10 times they used mortars. And this area is close to Russian border. That's why militants easily get ammunition. And artillery and mortar shellings delivered by the enemy happened in Mariinsky region. The firing was delivered from southern west suburbs of Donetsk. The occupants used cannons of 122 and 152 millimeter of caliber. On the whole, during the last 24 hours in the Mariupol sector, there were 46 enemy shellings. During the last 24 hours, in the result of the military actions, 4 Ukrainian servicemen were killed, 3 were wounded. Our hearts go out to the relatives of the servicemen who died. In Luganshina, a representative of occupation administration of Lugansk Oblast was sentenced to 2 years. He was active proponent of Russian peace, and in 2015 he was heading regional administration of Perevalsky region, and he was detained by Ukrainian border guards in Kharkiv Oblast. And this case is heard in the Lysenko city court. Near Zaitsevo, servicemen of armed forces of Ukraine found a cache of ammunition left by a subversive group of the enemy. They confiscated Shmel flame gun, 1 RPG, 13 hand grenades, more than 200 cartridges of machine gun, and more than 20 grenade launcher shells, and medicines, rucksacks, and different equipment. And it was established that all this ammunition is of Russian production. One more evidence of the presence of Russians in the east of Ukraine was recorded in the region of Svetlodarsk Bulge. Law enforcers found the reactive flame gun that is called Shmel, and markings show that this belongs to Russian army. One more arsenal. SBU officers found in the forest near Caesar, Stanish-Lugansk region of Lugansk Oblast. The law enforcers confiscated 4 shells, 2 reactive anti-tank grenade launchers, mortar mine on 120 millimeter of caliber, and 48 grenade launcher shell Vok 17M. And in Slavyansk, police officers confiscated arm that was hidden in a bin. This was partly disassembled KM gun and Makarov pistol. Klinsky National Guardsmen took part in training, and they carried out the training in artillery detachments coordination. Servicemen rehearsed delivering fire, and also the military training continued from 13th till 16th of March on the firing ground. They had the training for 15th Rocket Artillery Regiment. They rehearsed planning of actions with the all military support and control of fire with the use of multiple launch rocket systems. And today, 4-day training were completed in North Command Staff, and the aim was to improve command, to increase coordination in the use of detachments in the course of military actions. The actions of were in the locality that was not known to them, and they used radio and electronic obstacles, and they delivered reconnaissance activities against the imaginary enemy. Also in Mirgorod, our pilots were trained. They rehearsed maneuvers, and they rehearsed their actions. There was different types of maneuvering, and they made some loops, they made some different types of maneuvering in the air. And also in occupied east territory of Ukraine, there are staff and command training of Russian occupation forces, and the enemy deliver firing to the territory of Ukraine and to Ukrainian positions. Russia continued to fully support the detachments of the occupants, and during these recent days, they brought ammunition, fuel, and personnel to Donbas. This is all. If you have questions, please ask. The question is, why do we see this escalation now, in this time, this day? First, there are several reasons. In training centers that Russian Federation established in the territory of their own and in the territory of Donbas, there were several subversive groups created, and sniper groups, and other detachments that take part in shellings of Ukrainian positions. Also, there is some rotation of personnel from the territory of Russian Federation. They bring personnel, mercenaries, and also there is rotation of military forces of Russian Federation. Some of them go to the territory of Donbas, others exit this territory in order to they use there are new forces, those forces that are at the line of confrontation at the moment. And where our guys were wounded. One in Krimsky was killed. That was the explosive device. And the rear part of 2 killed, 2 wounded. This was made by howitzers. Vodane, Mariupol sector, 2 killed in course of shellings. And Novosvanivka, 1 wounded, also in the course of shellings. If there are no other questions, thank you for your attention and goodbye.